Welcome everybody, Saturday in Val di Sole, and it's another practice day before race day, so it's a little bit different here at World Champs. They get another go to get up to speed again, even faster. So we're going to head down track, a little bit inside the tape, a little bit of line choice, a little bit of chap. I'm really excited. I actually haven't been up the track yet, so let's go look. Big berms, light patches, dark patches, speed, drifts. You'll see it in the live feed. It's a good warm up. Really gets you ready for the absolute carnage later on. A lot of people don't think about this top section because they're stressing about the rest of the track. But this is actually a tricky one just to keep the speed going and not drift out and lose any time. Nice and wide, slightly inside. Oh, we went through the holes. A few braking bumps coming out. So everyone starts on the wide line, holes come out, they get progressively more inside. You've got like 2 meters of track to play with here. Yoink! The first rocky bit, El numero uno rockio. Oh, here we go. Yoink! Now that's just sick. The kind of line that I don't care if it's not faster, I like it. Alright, so he's just riding dirt jumps. Oh my. This is the Super Bruni, Superman, nose bonking, free falling. Somehow he missed the rocks section. So you come in high speed and then there's just like a little bit patch of heavy braking before an inside line over a sharp rock. From the social video you've probably seen, you can't see that rock's got a nasty square edge. So riders are trying to brake, compress, and then go light over it so the edge doesn't kick them too much. So on his qualifying run, maybe he came in quicker, maybe the soft dirt on the run up had like shifted and changed a little bit, but he caught the edge more than he was expecting, pitched him into a horrendous nosedive. Usually what people are doing is when they land on the other side of that, they're immediately slowing down for the next rock. Couldn't slow down. So rode the front wheel. If he touched the brakes, he would have gone over the bars, so he just stayed off of them, compressed, chain-ringed a rock in the ground, did the sickest angled noser up the next drop, and then just free-falled onto his side and survived. He said it himself, he couldn't believe it, could not believe it. This place is like the rockiest section of Earth, and he missed all the rocks.
I thought it looked like a video game.
Unbelievable.
It's unreal. It's like he just floated in the air.
Yeah,
like,
for ages.
Yeah.
Oh, 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 oh! Like panic brake, front wheel skid, too fast, wait back. Here we go, boys, here we go. Doesn't look like you can get into the outside that quickly. That is why it is still a light brown instead of a dark muscovado sugar colour. So everyone's going inside because that berm hooks and you don't need to be outside.
Worried face, very worried Ben face. Oh.
That's that gap that everyone's doing. Like when you see people do it, it looks easy, but the compression coming in is gnarly. And the landing is like a bike length, and it's like about that narrow. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's scarier from down here.
Nice rhythm.
Yeah.
Pillow section.
Rock pillows. So you know when skiers ride like the big pillowy soft kind of like skip skip skip, well this is not like that in any way shape or form. Yeah, we did, so a couple there.
Oh!
see, man.
What are the lines here, Ben?
Yo! That's one of the lines. Always with sections like this, you decide what you're doing at the bottom. And there's a big old safe hooker. That's a supportive corner, not what you're thinking. And inside. So once you figure out what you're going to do there, then you decide what's happening up here. So the outside, you can take any line coming in, and it doesn't look like it really matters what line you're taking up here. It's a personal preference if you're doing the low. If you're doing the high line, you can get it off the middle or the inside here, but it looks like it's easier to get onto from the outside hook and gapping down over the roots. And we'll be honest, people have just been going straight down this, straight into that rut at the bottom, and it does not look slow.
Yo, inside.
Yeah, Farina.
Yeah, Johnson, go on, son, yeah, woo!
This section, like all the sections, are steeper than it looks on video.
I don't know what they do tomorrow.
And then we saw a few people trying the inside gap down here into the next turn, but then it left very little time to then set up for the tight drop. I was thinking the outside gap was going to get a hole in it where everyone was landing and braking, but it looks like it's still working quite nice. Chunky. It's just like massive steps. Like each of these little steps on its own would be a decent sized drop on a normal track, and it's just like again, 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 controlling it all, braking in between them, controlling the speed. Yo, here, oh, there. And then, yo, butter. Just really light and then caught the turn. It's nasty. I bet a few people have gapped and then just landed in the wrong spot there. And like, oh, bonk on that. So if you do it like that, kind of going a bit slower, you've got time to shroud and then get composed, but at a higher speed, you've got to be so incredibly precise to be able to turn on a dime. So yeah, the inside's straighter, but requires insane timing. So yeah, big old chunky McDunkey section, corner, and then we've got this really, really sharp, slow drop. When you're watching people riding it, it looks like they just ride off it, they just squash it, but actually when we slow it down, we're going to slow it down. As soon as the front wheel gets over the top, they actually unweight the back wheel, pick the back wheel up a bike length before the drop to try and get on the ground as soon as possible. Because if you go too far off of it, cartwheel down the hill. Oh my God. Watch this, here she comes, up to the edge and then whip. She was like a little bunny rabbit there, just went boing. What's the story in Val di Sole? Wouldn't you like to? What's the story in Val di Sole? Wouldn't you like to know? Because I'm not going to tell you. There. McNabb has it.
You think inside or outside?
I like the inside here, especially when you do it like that.
Noah, inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside?
Yeah.
Why?
The last, like the next turn is so much faster. You get like the full. Yeah.
You.
And you got grip in there, too.
Sick. Yes!
Noah, everybody.
Noah completed it.
Noah. Look at it! Look at it! You don't hear a rat on the outside, do you? What I've done is I've taken in all the data. Outside, longer, less supportive, more roost, because everyone doing the inside is roosting the outside. Big holes leading into it. That's 4 negatives. Inside, negatives, none. The inside actually has, like the outside berm's like that, and the inside's actually like banked in a bit more, so it's more supportive if you can get onto it. So, tiny bit more patience on the way in. It's a bit smoother, it's got more support, and it sets you up better for the next turn. But it's quite loose in there, as we've just seen, so it might change. But that, oh, Noah. Oh.
Down there.
Yeah, we had to argue with
It's like some people like it.
What do you think about this section?
So what I think is, I think, don't stop it.
Whoa, bit of backpedaling.
That's good. Charges up the battery.
Bit more inside. Oh!
So the issue with this section is that every compression, usually what you try and do is you find a smooth place to put your wheels when you hit that compression. Because compressing, where it's not smooth, isn't pleasant.
Oh my days.
And there's a lot of compressions here with chunky stuff. And there's just not anywhere smooth you can try and put your wheels. So Jackson got a wee bit creative.
Go on, Jackson!
He was like super wide, so you can get a slightly further to the right line down into the compression down there, and it's just like a tiny bit smoother. And then there's a takeoff you can do that lands you past the next really rough compression. And then after that you land, take that compression, and you pull for another jump and land on just carpet roots. Some brave individuals are managing to pull hard enough that they triple it. A lot of people, the turn's so hard and you're compressing and you're not ready for it, they're washing the front on it. This section is filthy, and it's the steepest bit of the hill. One of the steepest bits of the hill. Almost the steepest bit of the hill. This hill is really steep. We're near the bottom of the track now. This is just before the final steep section that takes you down to the finish. And at this point, there's so much lactic acid in all parts in your body that holding onto your bike and being able to point it where you want to go is a big challenge. There's a lot going on. There's 3 main lines. There is the left line, which I would call the kind of like safest option. It's the easiest line. It's tight to get into, so a little bit slower to get into, but it's nice and smooth, misses the big compressions, and then it sets you up really nice for the exit of this section. And the exit is a tricky right-hander or a slight inside over the roots, and then big compression, and then a hot to flat pretty much. So that lines you up best for the exit. So in theory, this line should give you the most speed out of the section, and there's a long flat bit, one of the few flat bits on the track that you want to be carrying speed on. So you want to carry speed out of this section. The other line you can choose just next to that smoother option is the kind of middle line, I'm going to call it. So you come in, big compression that you've got to deal with, and then there's two huge steps. You could roll through this, but no, not very nice. So what the riders who are taking this line are trying to do is gap over the next step and land in what used to be a lovely soft loamy bit just after, but now it's hard pack and it is chunky, and we've got some riders coming in. There we go. So that is the middle line, and the landing of it, it's a bit of a hole, it's a big impact that you've got to take to then get composed and then ride the next corner. The other option is to come out of the left-hander at the start of the section, but head slightly more to rider's right. You miss the first of the compressions, and then you use the second compression to then jump over the hole that the people are landing in from the middle line. And it makes the exit of the section a little bit tighter, but it is a slightly smoother line. It's a slightly easier line than the middle one. So it goes from left, easy, no, that's actually wrong. Left, not quite as difficult. Right, slightly more difficult. Middle, really difficult, especially at the end of a run. And then the line choice of round the berm and over the roots. Going round is a little bit safer, but it's a little bit loose and it's a bit more changeable. Hitting the compression before the roots and getting inside could potentially allow you to carry more speed out, but a bit more precision involved. I'm going to say the middle line can be the fastest, but it's got to be up to the rider. With all these line choices, every video we've done, we've found out it's not the line, it's the rider that's fast. So the fastest rider, whatever line they choose, is the fastest line. But let's have a look, do some comparisons, see what's looking good. It is a hard section. First up, we've got a unique matchup with Benoit Coulange on the left to inside, matched up against his vegan cousin Benoit Courgette, who loves a huck. Here comes the Benoit cousins, and one of them is way out in the lead. He's coming in so much faster. That must be Courgette on that middle huck line. He does love a huck, that Courgette. And oh, his cousin, he's way behind. He's fallen way behind because he had to take that tighter entrance, but can he get more exit speed on the way out? He's got the straighter line at it. And as they go, he is catching, and oh, 0.04 for the Courgette-Coulange pair. Next up, we have Reece Wilson on the left line with a hint of dusty berm at the exit versus Loic Bruni, who is also on the left with a slightly different entrance and a tighter exit over the roots. We've got the Champ and the Champ Master coming through now, and look at this, Champ Master is pulling ahead. He's taking a slightly wider exit out of that turn, but look, Reece is catching up. He's got a straighter line into this section now, and he's pulling ahead of Bruni. So Bruni is going to have to get off the brakes now if he's got any hope of keeping up with Reece here. Reece is pulling ahead, and he goes over that crest, squashes it low, and Bruni, where's he going? Look out for the hole! Straight into it, but it doesn't do enough, and it's 0.3 Bruni is behind Wilson. Time to see what that right line is made of, with Greg Minnaar motoring through to a dusty wide exit versus the current world champ Reece Wilson. So let's take Reece's run and put it against Greg Minnaar, who's heading down that right, and look at him go. He is straight into there. The speed he comes into this section is insane, and he's already well in front of Reece, but he needs to get this corner at the bottom good, and somehow, even though it's chunky and filthy, he does it and he carries speed. Reece gets that super clean though. We don't know if the exit speed's going to match up, and they look similar, and 0.56 to Minnaar. That is a filthy amount of time in that section. I thought I'd switch up the angles so I could see the exit better and compare Roger Vieira on the middle gapper to outside chunker, with Kaya Hearn taking the right line to a very similar exit. So Australian Kaya Hearn and Brazilian Roger Vieira. So notice Kai took a slightly more direct line on that turn, and here comes Roger going for the huck, but Kai's already pulling away and coming down into the compression. They both head wide round the turn, and it's looking quite close actually, but what's going to happen here? Kai goes low, Roger sends it. Will he catch a backside? He does! Look at the pump he got off of that, but not enough. 0.36 to Kaya Hearn. Now here's an interesting one with two teammates on very similar lines. We've got Loic Bruni again on his left variation and Finn on the same but with a more direct entrance and a puncture through the rough turn. We'll see how that treats them. Here come the Specialized teammates and they're both on a similar line at similar speed, but Finn pulls inside of that rock while Bruni goes round and Finn's pulling away. Look at him go, he had the tighter turn but he just got off the brakes and committed into that wider line. He's got a couple of bike lengths on Bruni which he will not be happy about, but on the exit, Bruni nibbles inside and then he lets it run wider and sends it over that stump like we saw him doing. Will that make any difference? I don't know, Finn's going nice and direct and then up to the finish, 0.28, so Finn absolutely killing it with a flat tyre. Right, so Finn proved there that tyres with no air are faster. Can anyone beat him? Let's see, Irishman Henry Kerr committing 100% to the right line outside Schrelper. And here we go for the final matchup. We got Finn with the wide to the puncture and Henry going straight down the rider's right. And look at him going. Henry looks like he's pulling ahead a little bit down into the section, but Finn, he's super close. But yeah, Henry has got the gap at the minute. Round this turn, Henry helps the turn, overturns a little bit. That's going to lose him time. Finn is going to catch him. They are neck and neck. Turn bar from Henry and Henry swinging wide. He's get that smoother line. Will it carry the speed? Finn just takes it by 0.01, but Henry, fair play. Looks like switching to Irish has got you some good luck this year. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed being trackside today. Tomorrow is race day. Make sure you tune on Red Bull TV and stay tuned for Story of the Race on Pinkbike. So yeah, Pinkbike out. Catch you there. This was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed. Great. Amazing day. Have you subscribed yet? Maybe like as well. Yeah, go on. God, go on. Oh, you did. I saw that. You liked it. That's good. Well done.